How do you take an idea, turn it into a mock-up to test out your concept, and then convert that into a stainless steel pre-production prototype sample part? Well, I'm going to show you, and I hope that I can count on my YouTube subscribers to back the Alfred Backpack hanger on Kickstarter and take this fantastic product to production.
My name is Eric Strebel. I'm an industrial designer. Welcome to my channel about product design and making. I hope that you like, enjoy, and become a subscriber. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and then you hit the bell again, so you get the little parentheses around it. That way you'll be notified every time I have a new video. Don't forget to check out the design and making merch just below the video on the shelf. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, leggings, and phone cases. So the whole project is due to necessity. I need a backpack hanger to hang up my backpack so I don't toss it on the ground and I don't toss it on the chair in my office. So I made a backpack hanger out of a 2x4 and it worked. I couldn't believe how useful it was. I want to let you know that currently it's crowdfunding on Kickstarter. The link is below. I would love your support. Thanks in advance. I wanted to keep the simplicity of the device and add a little bit of functionality to it, so I added a way to hold a cell phone or charge a mobile device. So I made something a little bit more sophisticated, of course out of wood, because it's cheap, readily available material I had laying around. It's easy to manipulate. It does have a grain, but for the most part it's easy to carve and drill and mill and make something out of a piece of wood to test the functionality of your idea. Remember, this is still early in the design process. You are just trying out an idea, trying to make sure that whatever idea you had in your head will actually function the way that you think that it will. So this is sort of proof of concept in a way. And I'm doing that with this wood. I make two of them actually. One ended up going in my office and that worked so well I ended up putting the other one in the shop. And here I'm just finishing them and mounting it to the wall to sort of test it out and see how well it's going to work. And you can see even the early prototypes have a hole in the very bottom of them for the cable to come through, and that gets refined over time. It works. So now it's time to take a look at this product from a different point of view. How do you mass produce this? And this is where the industrial part of industrial designer comes into play, because you are designing for industry and mass production. I feel that a great way to bring this concept forward and to life for manufacturing is to make it out of metal. And using flat stock requires very little tooling, is inexpensive to produce, and can be done fairly cheaply. So using 1/8" 3mm aluminum or stainless steel folded metal is the way to go, and the way I've proceeded on this product. So here's a sketch refining the idea, taking it from that 2x4 wooden look into something that would be folded plate, aluminum, or steel. I'm a big maker, of course, so I'm going to make something before I commit to doing something with CAD, because I feel going right to CAD too early is very limiting in the design process. You basically spend all your time in CAD and you don't really design anything. You are not furthering the process. So building a model I find incredibly useful. The advances that you get from building a model, holding the product in your hand, feeling how big it is, and understanding the material that you are working with, or the model, the scale, incredibly useful, cannot be underestimated. So at this point, I make a cardboard mock-up of the sketch that you saw previously, so that I can get a really good idea of the scale, size, strength. Believe it or not, this cardboard mock-up is incredibly strong. You'll see later on when I put a backpack on it how strong it is. Even I was surprised how functional it actually was. And I learned an awful lot. And you can see there are changes that are happening to this mock-up right here, actually, where this notch is quite a bit different than what it was in the initial sketch that you just saw. It's a little deeper, allows for better placement of the cell phone. So those changes are things that happen. Cardboard is incredibly versatile material, easily manipulated, fantastic model making tool, often overlooked these days, but never to be underestimated. So when you're making a mock-up like this, you want to make it as realistic and functional as you possibly can, right down to countersinking the screw holes that I did here, because you do want to take a look at its functionality and its visual appearance. Why not? If you can, you should take advantage of that opportunity that you're given. And to my surprise, this matboard cardboard mock-up was strong enough, plenty strong enough, to support the weight of a loaded backpack here, and it allows me to test out the functionality of the unit. It exceeded my expectations. From there, I'm able to make design refinements and continue to move the project forward. At this point, I'm pretty happy with the overall functionality, design, look and feel of the product, and I feel comfortable moving into CAD, building it as a sheet metal object so that it can be easily unfolded and I can ultimately make a prototype and finally go to production. In CAD, I'm able to change some of the details, really work out how the product is going to be folded up when it's made out of metal, and it allows me to put in all of those details so that I can ultimately give the data to a manufacturer so that it can be made. That is the point of the CAD. It's pretty interesting. Computer-aided design has really changed industrial design as a profession. Before there were computers, all of this would have had to have been done by hand and rendered or drafted even on a drafting board and then given to a manufacturer. At this point, with computer-aided design, you can just give that data to another manufacturer and they can make it. All the information is included there other than color, materials, and finishes. Now, the other fantastic thing that has totally changed the design profession for industrial designers is 3D printing. 3D printing is a fantastic way to visualize your concepts once you've built them in CAD. It does require CAD data. So I'm going to print one of these things so I can get a really good idea of what it's going to look like before I actually get one. Allows me to test out the functionality, look and feel, etc., etc. So I'm just building one here on the Ultimaker in the shop. Allows me to test it, hang a backpack on it, see what it's really going to look like. I even can print it in a silver material to simulate a metal finish. Now, to find a manufacturer, you need to create a little package of data that you can easily email to somebody so that they can understand your project logically and comprehend what it is that you want to manufacture. At this point, I'm creating what I call a design guide. This is a series of documentation that includes information such as a bend table so that manufacturer will know where to make the bends for the sheet metal part, a quick visual representation of the different materials that you might use and the finishes that you might have or want, some of the tricky things that you think are needed. In this case, some machining is involved, where the countersink screws go, things like that. So this is a guide document that you can email and send out to a manufacturer so that they can give you a quote for prototyping, production, whatever it is, the project that you're working on. Once I found a manufacturer, and I found one out of Florida, MJM Manufacturing. They specialize in sheet metal manufacturing. The prototypes arrive. This is the aluminum variant. There's also a stainless steel version. They are gorgeous. I'm very, very happy with the quality of them. They're laser cut and then bent on a brake press. Here's the stainless steel version. Absolutely beautiful. Very heavy duty. Very strong. Super pleased. Super pleased. So, if you are not familiar with how bent plate or folded sheet metal process works, it works by using what's called a brake press. So the brake press has a series of tools, these fingers, that allow you to manipulate and bend the metal. There's a stop in the back. That stop holds the part in place, lines everything up, and allows you to bend the material at the specified locations to get the form that you want. So let's watch along how this machine makes this prototype. This is the stainless steel variant. So this is after the part has been laser cut. It's 1/8 inch stainless steel, 3mm thick material. I've named the backpack hanger the Alfred after my grandfather, who was a carpenter. It's a very durable product and has that industrial look and feel with that raw metal. The aluminum one will be anodized. The stainless steel one does not need a finish. Should be at home pretty much anywhere. I really want to bring it to market. I need your help. Even if it's just going to be low volume, which is what I'd like to do, maybe a couple hundred units of each, kind of a boutique project. Would really like your support. I hope I can count on my YouTube subscribers to get me to the finish line, to get to the $5,000 goal that's needed to bring this thing to production. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can do that by clicking on the icon in the bottom right of the video or below the video. Give it a thumbs up and follow the channel there as well. Hey, and don't forget to follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook sometimes, Twitter usually, and now Instagram. Rock on. Click here to check out some of the other design and making videos that I have that you might enjoy.